Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer. He's on the East Coast, and we've got 8 games, baby. Finally got 8 games to choose from in the NBA this week. We are going to be looking at best bets in this episode. Also have play of props up in the other one, so make sure to subscribe to that page and continue to follow along with us all season. Nate, we're going to kick it off here. We're talking about the Phoenix and Utah game with you. Let's get into your first best bet for the night.
Yes, we're talking about a total, and we're talking about an under with these two teams, which I know is contrary. This has been bet up about 4 points so far. The last time these teams met, it totaled 232. So that's why I think it is settled here at this total. But in that last meeting, the Suns did not have Kevin Durant. And I have talked at length here about how much better their defense is. It's 13 points better per 100 possessions when they have KD out there. They also have Grayson Allen and Ryan Dunn a full go. Everybody is on extra rest. And the Suns are trying to snap a 6-game road losing streak since they won that game. So I think we obviously expect here as a market that the Suns are going to do that. They're -8. They're going to get it done. That means with some solid defense down the stretch. And so far, they've had elite defensive numbers in the fourth quarter at home, awful on the road. I think, that's some of that is small sample, and that you can expect them to just have a good fourth quarter here. In that last matchup, by the way, both teams scored 33 in the fourth, which is a complete outlier. That does not happen too often. And then you look at the Jazz at home, not your older brother's Jazz, as we say. This year, 92 in pace in the fourth quarter at home, and 10th worst offensive rating. Lauri Markkanen might not go, which would obviously be great for the under here. Their defensive rating is actually 6 points better without the finisher there, a little slow in foot speed, because you get more JC and Walker Kessler at the same time, right? Just like a much better defensive front court there. Jordan Clarkson also questionable. I don't know if that matters because, I mean, maybe you want him to go because he's having the worst season of his career and just has not been the home road Jordan Clarkson that we've grown accustomed to either. Like, in general, the vibes with the Jazz is it's not this like, oh, we're back home, like we're going to be fun run and gun. It's just like, no, they're just like, what are we even playing for? At like this season, they're 8-3 to the under at home by 8 points per game. So we're still kind of inflated off last year, what we saw with the Utah Jazz. And like I said, it's time for the Suns to get a win. Everybody is on so much rest too. They're 5-0 when they get 2 days rest here. 60% to the under on extra rest since last season. And when they do get a win, they allow a 107 per game. They allow 105 a game this year when they've gotten the 2 days rest. So that's why I like this one.
Yeah, I can totally see it. I mean, this is a bit of a zag to the point that you kind of started with. So, I mean, it's not something that's going to be for the faint of heart because I think you're going to see a couple points early on in the game as KD maybe wants to come out and get his shooting going. But I don't think that this is going to be much of a game, to be honest with you. So, that should work in our favor here as well. But I have no notes really on this one. I'm just going to get into my first bet here, which I really like in that Philly game. I think Indy sucks. Let me just say that. Like, I think they legit suck right now. And I don't know, maybe they need Isaiah Jackson and Aaron Nesmith. I would say I'm not going to poo-poo the need for Aaron Nesmith out there on defense for sure. But like, they have a whole litany of power forwards and versatile forwards that could be playing defense a bit better, and they're not. So I'm taking Embiid 25 plus points and the money line for Philly here. Still get that about plus 120. Like, Embiid hasn't had to play since Sunday. That's what I care about, is how much time has Embiid had in between games, and it's been a lot. So we saw him put back-to-back 30-point performances together with back-to-back 30-minute plus games. And now he's playing an Indy team that he destroys. Miles Turner is in his pocket. He owns him. And so you look at the last 5 versus Miles Turner. Since 2023, they played 5 times with JoJo and Miles on the court, 31 plus points in all 5 of those games, 34 minutes a game, 36 points per game. And we're looking at about 20 field goal attempts where he's making 14 of them, and he's hitting 13 of 14 free throws. 14 free throw attempts in those last 5 games on average against Miles. So I don't know why that wouldn't continue. There's still nobody to guard him. Honestly, the dude who did the best when he was on the team was Goga Bitadze. When he was a Pacer, actually did the best defending Joel Embiid. If you look at a few of the games where Miles Turner wasn't in, JoJo did worse against Indy. So yeah, like I said, he just sort of plays around with Miles Turner and does what he wants with him, getting free throws, getting jump shots. So he's back, and I think they know that they need to get him fully incorporated into this thing. I think Maxi's going to be more of a facilitator in this game as well, and that's part of what I'm looking at here with the Pacers is like, this ain't last year's Pacers. Like, this ain't Rick Carlisle's Pacers, to be honest with you. On defense, they are, I mean, they've never been a world beater, but they haven't been this bad where, like, they're not even, they're allowing spot ups now. It used to be that, like, all right, you can get what you want if you have a good scoring point guard, but they're going to shut everybody else down on the wing. Well, this is a bottom 11 team in terms of limiting assists. They're not limiting point guard assists anymore. They're not doing what the defense is supposed to be doing, even though it's set up to basically force everything inside and then be able to collapse. And they can't do it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and just feel much better about Philly. I'm not saying that like we have anything to tell us that Philly with JoJo and Paul George and Maxey on the floor at the same time is going to do really well. Interestingly, the player with the highest plus minus alongside Joel when they're on the floor together is Jared McCain. So maybe we should be considering some of that stuff for him as well, as obviously like a really good spot up shooter and has been better than everybody else on the team spotting up this year. So yeah, I think there's going to be a good amount of playing off of Joel, 25 plus. I think he's probably going for 30 this game, but a nice conservative bet to get plus 120.
Yeah, I mean, the usage rate was back where you expect it from Embiid after basically a month off when he plays the Bulls, gets another juicy one here in terms of the matchup. Yeah, this is another one I was leaning towards the under and interested in because the Pacers on the road especially ain't going to be able to score. The Sixers, they haven't gotten over 220 in like it's happened like twice all season, like whether Embiid is in there or not. They don't play very fast. He's still going to jack up a lot of shots to get his points, which might could hurt their offense. And then that Pacers offense is just abysmal on the road. So I agree that you probably want to stay away from the spread because I don't know about them winning at margin, but I think they can win a choppy one here. Now I'm gonna take a page out of your book here with the reverse correlation. And my second bet is Donovan Mitchell under 25.5 points with the Cavs. They're minus 17. So to take that down to an alt line of minus 7.5 against the Wizards, and you're talking plus 130. Looked at it with minus 9.5, you can be plus 150 here. And maybe you have a book that allows you to do an alt points line for Donnie, maybe get him up at 27 or 28 for the under there. But I think he's good for under 25. I mean, he averages 23 at home this season because he plays 3 fewer minutes per game. Overall, against non-playoff teams, he averages 22 a game. His last 3 against Washington averages 22. He did have 30 in 29 minutes in one of those 3 meetings. So that is the risk you're playing here. You're playing with fire, that he just goes 6 for 11 from 3 like he did in that game, gets all his buckets, and he's the reason for the blowout. But Cavs at home, balanced team. They rain threes down from lots of different places. Definitely possible that this game is not even close by the third quarter, and then Donnie takes a seat. His last 4 home against Washington, which has been a tire fire annually, and that's why they've lost 9 straight to this Cavs team. He's averaged 21.8 in just 26 minutes per game, and that's with a very high usage rate, 34% usage. So it's not like he's not getting shots up while he's out there. He's just not out there long enough to get 26 or do the heavy lifting. Brogdon and Kuzma are ruled out for this Wizards team, which, as we know, is probably the worst in the NBA. Mobley, questionable. Donnie's efficiency actually dips without Mobley, kind of helping him get cleaner looks from 3 to a degree. And, a lot of teams are kind of treating this as a bye week with the NBA Cup, right? I mean, we saw Tatum not play last night for the Celtics, despite the fact that they've been off all week. So, I mean, how much is Donnie really going to do against the worst team in the league when they played 4 and 6 nights before they got this break, right? I mean, he's got to rest up and then, heading into Christmas, which is a much more packed schedule. I don't see him playing many more, maybe not getting 30 minutes in this one, which he hasn't against Washington yet this season. So give me the alt line here with his under.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason. I mean, Kispert's out as well. I mean, who just signed a new contract with them as well. So, he's going to be on the team. I know it sounds like a joke, but like Kispert is supposed to be a scoring threat off of the bench. They're not going to have him either. Yeah, man, Washington. I don't know what else to say about it. I think maybe there's some opportunity to get like guys like, Keyshawn George also out. Just another dude taking like 8 to 9 shots a game. Like, who are they playing tonight? I think you can take advantage of that with a few guys, but be careful. Like, I'm not ready to just turn to Jordan Poole and be like 20 plus points for Poole because nobody else is in. Like, Isaac Okoro's playing. He's fully healthy now again. So I have no desire to bet on any Cavs players overs. I really don't have a desire to bet on anything in this game, but this is how I would play it for sure, is like Cavs to cover, Cavs 10 plus, they're going to win by double digits. So yeah, I'm with that. If the Cavs were losing at the half, I would take them to win by double digits on an alt line at halftime. That's where we're at here. Zero belief in this Wizards team. And because they beat the Nuggets, I still don't care about that Nuggets defense. Anyway, Lakers. They're also not very good, and they're not going to have LeBron James tonight. But I'm zagging the crap out of this game when y'all are zigging. So I'm taking LA +9 without LeBron James versus the defending not Western Conference champions, but Western Conference finalists. Let's say in the T-Wolves here. I still don't believe in the T-Wolves. I know their defense is getting better. I still don't believe in the vibes. Big vibes guy here. And to be honest, like, I'm not saying the vibes are better in LA without LeBron, but the numbers on the court are. This is the first season for LeBron James that he has a negative a negative on court plus minus. They are now losing more when LeBron is on the floor than when he's off of it. If you look at that stuff through the lens of advanced metrics, LeBron on court this season, 109 offensive rating for the squad, 118 defensive rating, 101.5 pace. He's not in, so that's a big reason why this total is at like 212.5, 213, is because but the Timberwolves are playing defense and this team plays way slower without LeBron. But they actually have a better offensive rating, 112. They have a lower defensive rating. LeBron has the worst off court, they basically have the best defensive rating when LeBron is off court. 108 defensive rating for this Lakers squad without LeBron out there. And that is not because LeBron is not one of the best athletes of all time and capable of being one of the most lockdown defenders of all time. It's because he doesn't have the stamina to do it on both sides of the floor. And he's doing the thing he did on the Cavs when he carried that sorry team to like 9 straight finals, was not try on defense because he can't afford to, because he has to do everything on offense. I don't think that's helped this team at all. Gabe Vincent is going to get a bit more run because they're going to need somebody to facilitate. He has had a much nicer on-court rating than LeBron James. We're not going to see Jackson Hayes. We're going to see a lot more Rui. Rui is the same way, a lot slower, but better defense with him on the floor. So like there's going to be a defensive matchup. I think that once you get down to like a 212 total, 9 points is too much for a team where I think AD is likely to have a very big game, loves to score versus Rudy and get to the free throw line a ton. So I'm just going to bank on that to be the case here. Like D'Lo to get a few more dimes, them to have their subs come in. If Austin Reeves isn't playing, he's also questionable. That sucks because I do like him as a nice replacement, as a versatile forward there. But I still am fine with the guys that they have coming in here and the way that they've played without LeBron this season. I think 9 to 10 points is too much.
Yeah, no, I need Austin Reeves to go, but it does sound like, Redick's saying he's done everything in 5-on-5 in practice after missing 5 games. So I think he's going to be ready. But yeah, he needs to fill the void of LeBron as a playmaker. And that's part of the reason they are better, is when he's out there. Like he's an essential part of their team. Like, no doubt, definitely the third most important player on this team. Interesting that LeBron isn't even with the team for the next like 12 days, it sounds like. This is inflated in part because last time they played, it was after playing in Utah, close game on a back-to-back, and Minnesota wiped the floor with them on a huge rest advantage. So I think they can definitely hang closer here. AD has had success against Gobert. I like the call with all these points.
Yeah. It's just too many points to what you're saying. Yeah, I think Reeves is necessary. But yeah, no, I'm with you on all of this. So that's all the time we have for you in this one. Go ahead and make sure to subscribe to that page and check out the Play a Props episode we also have up. Until we see you next, happy betting.